Hello, everyone. I just wanted to discuss my experience over the last 48 hours with the new iPhone 15 Pro Max. I've been using it. The first day I used it a little 50-50 with my Z Fold 5. Today I put the Z Fold 5 down and I dedicated myself to just using this phone. So I charged it up, and since this morning I've been using it all day long. So this is my first full day solely focused on using the 15 Pro Max. Just want to comment on a couple of things. I think that the one thing that I appreciate is the new build quality. It's not really, the build quality has always been great, but the new build in terms of titanium, that's been really great. It's much lighter. It feels more like my 14 Plus than it did like sort of the brick-like 13 Pro Max. Now, I love that phone. If you saw my review on the Pro Max, the 13 Pro Max, that was a great phone, but it was super heavy. It felt like I was carrying a couple rocks in my pocket all the time. So in terms of that, I think this is much better, lighter. The titanium is just a much lighter material to carry around. So I really like it. I did actually drop it without a case on the corner here where the camera is, and no damage, just a little, it was a little drop from my waist height to pulling out of my pocket. And then, of course, I didn't have the case on it at the time. The only time I didn't really have the case on it, and it just fell right out of my pocket and hit the hardwood floor. But no damage. It's fine. Didn't even make a dent or anything. So that's been okay. Typical Apple, build quality. It's just fine. No problem there. What I do appreciate about it is like the screen brightness. So I do really, I was going to show you my battery life too. The screen brightness has been really great. There's no issues with it at all. I haven't really had an issue on the phone since, I think S22 Ultra. From then on out, like that was a great phone, 1750 nits. This one even more so. It's really, really good. The 13 Pro Max, sometimes I'd struggle to see in the sun, but once the 1750 came out, like nits brightness, I've not had any issues with it. And I live in sunny Southern California, so that's not really that's kind of can be an issue there, but here it's not an issue at all. Battery life, as you can see, so today I have 10 hours of screen on time. Obviously, I wasn't using it the whole time, but what I did do is I ran some games on it, and I ran YouTube on it like the whole day. And so if you see there, you had some FIFA Mobile there, YouTube, and I just kind of ran it and just let it run on its own so that it could like kind of use up the battery to kind of get an accurate assessment. So I ran them both kind of equally. So that includes, 4 hours of YouTube, just videos, just letting them run, and FIFA Mobile for the most part. I didn't get out too much today, so not much of this is on 5G. I would say maybe a couple hours on 5G at the most, but I'm still pretty impressed with the battery life at 10 hours. I was a little concerned the first day because I only got 6 hours, but that included about an hour of videotaping. I was videotaping my son, he was playing his game, and also it included me videotaping my dog and some navigation. So, but that was after I'd actually set the phone up as well. And I noticed once I set the phone up, once it did the cycle through and added everything from my old phone, it really took a long time. It took a lot of battery and it took a while. So, I used one of my old backups, so it took a little time. So that's been good. The gaming here has been smooth. And that's the one thing I do notice actually. I did play a few of the games, and instead of just letting it run on auto, you actually can. It actually plays really smooth. You can really notice a difference in the movement of the characters that you're playing. I only play a couple games. I don't really play much, to be honest with you. And as a matter of fact, I'm not even going to play next season, so I'm kind of done with that. So let's see what else. A couple of things I think that are a little underrated in terms of like what it actually is really doing well is the speakers are just amazing. Like they're really loud. As a matter of fact, I even have to turn them down a little bit sometimes because I'm used to putting them at a certain volume, and it doesn't even require that much, right? Like it's really, really good. So yeah, the speakers are really, really great. I'll just play you a sample here. It's just yeah. There's how about Jay Williams here? He's unboxing his phone here. So
I need to change the font, the screen size, to have that
I mean,
button.
it's just really loud. So I really appreciate that about it. That's the cameras. I think also are underrated in terms of the improvement. I think it's a huge camera improvement, at least from the 13 Pro Max. Now I can't speak for the 14 Pro Max because I didn't have it long enough to really assess, the cameras. But from the 13 Pro Max, to me it's a big difference. I really like the automatic portrait mode and what have you. So that's been really really good. So there's that. The one thing I will say is I've kind of I like the action button. I think it's cool. Right now I just have it set up to do what it was doing before, which is to kind of put it on silent. But I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do with it yet. But what I have been doing a lot of is pressing it as the up volume, like thinking, hey, I'm going to press the volume. And I'm actually not. I'm pressing the action button. So I've done that quite a few times. I don't know if anyone else has been doing that, but you kind of get used to feeling like when you use a phone, every phone's distinct, but you kind of you get used to the sort of muscle memory of like, where is that at? And they kind of feel similar, even though the action button's much smaller, but because it's not like that rigid kind of like, snapping it up and down kind of thing. Like I'm like, oh, there's the volume button, and I keep pressing the stupid action button. So, I've been doing that a little bit. So there's that. But overall, I think it's really a good upgrade. I would say if you're happy with your 13, if you're happy with your 14 Pro Max or 13 Pro Max, maybe not necessarily. You don't necessarily need to do the upgrade. I kind of like it, to be honest with you. I got some pretty good money from my 13 Pro Max when I sold it. So to put that towards this, a couple $100 wasn't that bad. But I think that if you have a 12 Pro Max, now I have a lot of friends that have 12 Pro Maxes and the battery is not nearly as good as a 13. If you have a 12 series phone, I know a lot of people are saying if you have 12, you're fine. I would say if you have a 12 series phone and lower, and you can get a good trade-in on this, I would totally go for it. I can't speak to the regular size Pro. I don't usually get those phones because battery life usually sucks. I've tried them before, 13 Pro Max, 13 Pro regular, and no, the battery is just horrible. And I think it was the 11 Pro or 12 Pro. I don't remember. I had another one in the past, the regular size, and I always end up swapping it for the larger one. So I would say that if you have like a 12 series or below, because of the battery issues on the 12 series, I would totally go for it. If you can get a trade-in on this, I would definitely do it. So there's that. But yeah, overall for the first like 48 hours or so, I'm pretty impressed with it. It's not going to be my main phone, but I'm going to use it for video and I'm going to use it for photography and in that way it will be my main phone because I don't, I like the Z Fold 5, but it's more of my work phone. It's my productivity device. It's really integrated with Microsoft Office Suite, which is what I use a lot for work. I think that and for this is more like, I have some people that have this phone line. It's my secondary line, but it's only a very few people. And I use it for video. I use it for, recording, taking pictures. And they're so easy to share with iMessage, and with everybody has iPhones for the most part. The people that I share with, it's just convenient in that way. Other than that, I'm probably not going to use this phone as much, but those things that I do use it for are really important in terms of like, especially the video and the sharing of the video and the photos. So, but I do like it. It's a good phone. If it was my primary device, I can be perfectly happy with it. I would probably have something else for productivity stuff that's kind of portable, like, I don't know, a tablet of some sort. I'm not really big on iPads, as you know, but if you watched my last video, my iPad mini review, but maybe like a Samsung tablet of some sort or a Microsoft Surface Pro, something like that that's light and portable, or a light laptop. Kind of the Z Fold 5 kind of takes that place for me quite a bit. So, in that way, having the two devices really works out well for me. I know it's a luxury to be able to do that. But to be honest, one of them is really for work. So, it is kind of what I do for work. So I do use that other phone quite a bit for that. So there's that. So first 48 hours, I would say that again, battery life's great. It's your typical Pro Max experience. Nothing too fancy on the, not going to do anything fancy on this thing. It's just going to work. It's going to be reliable. Call quality is great. I think the one missed opportunity I would say that I wish they would have, and this is partially because I'm an educator and a lot of my students, they only have one device, and sometimes they can only afford one thing, is if they could have add a Dex like feature to this, just so that people who only have one device, like if you're gonna like only you have to live in this world, right? Like, and everybody has some kind of electronic device, a phone of some sort, but not everybody can afford a laptop. Not everybody can afford a tablet. And if you could afford like a Samsung phone and use like the Dex feature, that could be like your all-in-one device, and in that way, I think if Apple did that, just to kind of help people out, like to be able to plug into a monitor, have a little um, just keyboard attachment to it. I think that would be really, it'd be really good for a lot of folks. It would really help them out. So I mean, not just because I would like it, I wouldn't even use it myself, to be honest. But I know a lot of people who only can have one and afford one device, and if you can only afford one device, yeah, I think that would be a good opportunity for them. But I don't know if they're going to do that. I might make a separate video just on that, to be honest with you, because I feel like that's kind of an important point. Anyway, well, that's all for now. Just my first 40 hours with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I hope you're well. I hope your family's well, and take care of yourself.